So next step is I want to kind of start adding some addresses, not with the remove add button or anything like that yet. I just want to start adding some addresses so you guys can see them. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and actually go in here and start adding some data, right? So I want to start showing different addresses instead of this stupid address list works right here. And I'm going to do it by actually starting out by making some data inside my component. Now again, think of the component as its own little unit, right? So to start working with addresses in here, I'm going to need a list of addresses to display, right? That's kind of the goal of this component, to display a list of addresses. That's why I got this name, Kajingi. So I'm going to say addresses right here because I need to kind of fake a list of addresses or an address array like this. So this is, again, if you read this, you can see I'm going to make a new property. I'm going to call it addresses. And this is just for the colon instead of the equal sign, means that I'm going to define the type. I'm not going to set it to anything yet. I'm going to actually set it down here actually by making this dot addresses down here. And that's going to be equal now. Now I'm going to set the real value. And since I put up here that I want it to be an address array, I only have to specify that that's going to be an array of some kind. And inside that array, I can now start actually adding real fake data, real addresses right here. So I'll make two JavaScript objects right here. One of them will be just adding the curly brackets dot end right here. First I need an ID for this address, so I'll just put in one. I need a street for this address, and let's just put in Bongo Street like this. I need a number for this. There we go, and let's put in a number of 22D like this, 222D actually. And I also need a city for this guy, so let's put in a city, and again let's make that that's a good name for a city. Sweet. So we'll do a copy of this to make another, so we have two addresses available, and I'll just make it 2 now. I'll change the street to Bongi Street. I'll make it 22C instead, and I'll just make the city Hyoli Nagajev. So if I'm taking any city names here, I'm sorry if you guys were considering this for your town. I'm sorry for just stealing them here, but you can use them. They're open source. Okay, jumping back now, I actually want to display my new addresses in the list, right? So now I have some data, and I want to kind of show it here, looking something like this, so we can start showing these address names right here. And that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to jump into the address list component, and using a for each loop right here, I'm going to use the ng4, and there I'm going to say let for having a single variable called address, and that's going to come off the address list called addresses right here. So now we have for each address now inside the list, we'll start showing a p tag. Now instead of actually adding this, I'll go in here and I'll add the addresses. First we'll take the street, right? And then we'll do a space. We already did stuff like this, so it's really not that complex. You guys can just do this fast now, hopefully, because it starts making sense, I hope. And then the last thing is the city right here, just to have all of it in there, address.city, and now we should have something to display. Let's see how it looks inside our view right here, and now we have addresses, and we start having just some information right here for the addresses. Now, we are going to make this prettier, but this is a start, right? So see in the next lesson where we'll start adding some list group around this to make it look more like a real address setup like this. Have fun and see you next time.